Hello, everybody. You've tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, First Sergeant Rich Myers with the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. And with me today is Captain Dave Burston, Commander of the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. And Stephanie, I forgot your last name since you got married again.
Manner.
Yes. Okay.
As in, watch your manner.
I need to do that.
Right.
I guess I need to manner her into that because I always knew her unmarried name, but she's been a little over a year. We were talking about you're building a house.
Yes.
Jumping into that. Sounds like a lot of fun. Not,
Nice.
but it'll be good.
Some days.
And we're here to talk about the Indiana Special Olympics. Dave, thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate you being in here with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Indiana State Police, a proud partner with the Indiana Special Olympics, and we got some great events coming up here. We want to thank our sponsors for this show, the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. And we also want to thank Tom Trial for putting us on each and every week to YouTube and letting him do his thing so we can be on the YouTube show every week. So, Stephanie, our big event coming up here right now,
That's right.
the big cold event,
That's right.
the crazy event, why I wonder why people even want to do this. Now, have you actually ever done this?
I have. I did it last year for the first time.
Okay.
I actually wasn't
Pull
too
that mic
busy that
closer
day.
to there so we can get pull it in there. There you
Can
go.
you hear
Okay.
me? Can you hear me now?
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, I took the plunge for the first time last year. I've worked on it for 8 years.
Uh-huh.
And I went in last year in Muncie into a pool. It was one of the first events I actually had enough time to plunge.
Was it a heated pool?
It was not. It was not heated. And it's actually, to be fair to all of the officers I work with and have talked into this over the years.
Did they throw you in?
They did not throw me in, but it was a pool. It was long, so I had to walk to the other end once I was in.
Okay.
And it's probably the furthest plunge we have to get back inside after you plunge.
Okay.
So I took a hard plunge,
All right.
if that makes everybody feel better.
And a long walk back to warm
It
territory.
was.
Huh?
It was a long walk back to the building. So.
And what we're talking about in the polar plunge is to raise money. It's a fundraiser for Special Olympics, and that's to get in. I've seen everywhere from lakes to pools to any body of water, but I've even seen where they've chipped ice to get people into these things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. A couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, we had so much ice at Eagle Creek, which is our largest plunge, and it's the last plunge of each season. We had so much ice that it took, I believe it was either 4 or 5 firefighters to get one chunk out to clear the opening. And
goodness.
it took
That's
them
not right.
almost 2 days to cut the hole. And
2 days.
2 days. Yeah, they had to come back twice and do it. And they actually couldn't get 20 people in that year. We could only get 10 because the hole was smaller because it was so hard to cut.
I bet you could have gotten 15 skinny people.
We may have been able to, but we tend to make everyone the same
So
number,
tell us how this goes. Do you have to have so much money to do this, or whatever you raise, or how do you participate in this?
Yes, so you sign up online, and we actually have a Polar Plunge website this year. It's polarplungein.org. And you go on there and sign up, and you actually get a fundraising page. So you do have to raise money to do it because it's our largest fundraiser.
Right.
And you raise $75 is the minimum. But on average, because we have this online fundraising site, on average, plungers usually raise $200 or a little over that. Some people up to $7,000.
Wow.
So it's really easy. You just put it on Facebook and Twitter and email it out. And
I think whoever raised $7,000, they should get a shout out. Do you remember who that was?
we've had a few of them. We call, once you hit 4,000, we consider you a super plunger, and you actually get to plunge twice.
Oh, yeah. That's a real incentive to raise money.
Sign me up for that.
You don't have to, but you get to plunge twice. We have a great volunteer in West Lafayette. Her name's Lynn, and she actually runs the plunge there, and she always raises in the $6,000-$7,000 range. So we look forward to seeing her. And then we have Father Patrick Bykowskis, which I hope I said right, who is also in West Lafayette, who is a super plunger, and he last year was our top plunger, and I think he was around $7,600.
All of his parishioners wanted to see him take a plunge.
That's
huh?
right. Yeah, he
Okay.
takes one for the team. So
So they brought up a good point here. Are people that give to this, are they allowed to come and watch?
absolutely. It's an open event, open to the public. We encourage spectators. I always tell our plungers that I talk with, bring a friend, bring a spouse, bring a coworker, whoever it was that wanted to see you go in, and make them hold the towel so that you can grab something warm on the way out. But yes.
If somebody showed up late, they come, they watch this, they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Can they give you $75 and do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Never turn away money, do
That's
you?
right. No, we never ask the athletes to pay for anything they do in Special Olympics. A lot of them can't pay.
Right.
So for them to be involved, we need to raise the money for them to do this. And so any amount of money, we laugh and we say we don't turn away any money, but it's true. We need the money to do the sports we do for the athletes. So.
Do you have athletes that do this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And actually, we have an athlete in Washington Township, I believe it is, here in Marion County, who has been a super plunger, over $4,000 for the last few years. So, yeah, we have a lot of athletes that do it.
So how many have you already did some this year?
No, the first one's this weekend, and actually I'll hold this up for the camera here, see if we can get it in there.
Great.
This is actually a list of our plunge dates, and we start this weekend in Petersburg on January 30th.
Petersburg, Southern Indiana.
That's in Southern Indiana, right? And we
have
them.
It's gonna be a lot warmer down there, probably 72 degrees.
Well, I'm going to that plunge, so I'm hoping. Yes, we have them across the state from northern to southern Indiana and everywhere in between.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What's the rest of them?
Well, we have Bloomington and Columbus on February 6th. February 13th, we have Boonville, Crawfordsville, Fort Wayne at IPFW, Indianapolis at Butler University, and Kokomo. On February 20th, we have Borden, Fort Wayne at Matea County Park, and then Valparaiso, Versailles, Warsaw, West Lafayette. February 27th, we have Terre Haute, and March 5th, we wrap it up with Eagle Creek. And the Eagle Creek Plunge has typically the most plungers, and it is a real big party. We have the after party at the Colts Pavilion, and we really have a good time. We have a costume contest, and it's just a great end to the season.
What kind of costumes do people wear?
You'd be shocked.
I know, I've seen this on TV because the media always covers this, and I've seen this, and everything from Superman outfits to fairies to Star Wars. It's amazing.
There have been dragons. There have been a little bit of
everything.
everything.
Do they plunge in their costumes?
They do.
Yes.
So,
yes.
One of them goes as a stormtrooper, you'd probably sink.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Every costume you can imagine.
Now, I saw you mentioned Butler University, correct?
Yes.
So where do they plunge at Butler University?
So they actually put a pool up in front of the HRC, which is the Health and Recreation Center there. And in that lawn, they put it up. You go out of the building. It's one of the closer to the building plunges, which is nice. But you go out of the building, you plunge, you come back in, and you get warm. So it's a really nice setup.
Now, you mentioned the Eagle Creek is your last hurrah. That's the last one for the year. And you have a big party afterwards.
Yes.
How many people do you have traditionally at this? You said it's the largest one.
600 to 800 plungers, and then all their friends and family that come watch them.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about...
That's your biggest one then, isn't it? Does that raise your most amount of money?
It is, yes. We're shooting for 800 to 900 this year, hoping it's the largest plunge yet. Of course, we always want to grow, and it is definitely the largest fundraising. Although I will say, we talk about the super plungers in West Lafayette. Their plunge has come along drastically over the years, and they are quickly gaining on Eagle Creek. Yes, so we always encourage that too.
So amongst the plungers, is there a higher echelon of the people that actually go all the way under, as opposed to the people that just go out and get wet?
Yes, and I will tell you, there are those who go all the way under. There are some that go in ankle deep and say, okay, that's good. There's everything in between, but I always personally love the people who go in and say, I need to high five all the firefighters that are the dive team, and they go around the whole hole. And they, because when there's ice, it's a hole that you can jump in. And they high five all the firefighters on the dive team.
Which are how many?
I think there are probably 8 at least out there.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole perimeter.
That's amazing.
They're in there for a while if they do that.
Well, again, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids. I'm speaking with Captain Dave Burston from the Indiana State Police Public Information Office and Stephanie Manor from Special Olympics of Indiana. We're talking about the 2016 Polar Plunge, a fundraiser event for the Indiana State or for the Special Olympics of Indiana. And you say this is your biggest event that of all the events that you have? It is.
It's our largest fundraiser. Last year we raised a little over $600,000 across the state.
Wonderful. Wow.
And like you mentioned, we are always looking to raise more, because the more money we raise, the more athletes we can bring into the program, and the more we can do for the athletes who are participating. So
Yeah, that's great. So, and you can find this at your website, which is
www.polarplungein.org.
Okay. And all that information's online on how to sign up, where to go, what to do. And they're always looking for people to come in and plunge for the Indiana Special Olympics fundraising. So this is kind of the kickoff for the year. Let's talk about some other things that you've got coming up too. I know, and I may not be talking in order here, but you've got the Strike for Special Olympics of Indiana every year.
Yes.
And that is?
That is towards the end of the year, November or December. We're setting a date as we speak, and that will be towards the end of the year.
And that's
bowling, isn't it?
It's bowling, yeah. So groups of 4 come out, and 4 bowlers who you decide on actually get to bowl with a Special Olympics athlete, which is really fun. You play 2 games, and we have awards, and it's actually a group of law enforcement officers who are the committee that run that event.
Great. And then I know you had a meeting just recently about the law enforcement torch run.
Yes. The law enforcement torch run happens basically April through September, different times, and it happens around the state. So we would invite any law enforcement agency who is interested in hosting a torch run in your area to get a hold of us at my office, and we can help you do that in the Special Olympics office, and the law enforcement torch run leadership team can help set that up. But we will have usually at least 6 of those that happen around the state, including one that happens every year in Terre Haute that runs into summer games.
Right, that leads into the summer games every year, right?
Yes.
And the plane pool, are you doing it again this year?
The plane pool, yes. New breaking news. We just got our date, August 27th.
August 27th is the plane pool.
At
Yes.
which airport?
At the old Indianapolis International Airport. So it's over by the Postal Hub, and it's where the old terminal was. And it's a great space. And
A lot of parking. No
lots
problem.
of parking, yeah, lots of space to set up tents. And again, we always like to have fun, so it's kind of like a big party when you're not pulling the plane, because if you're really fast, it only takes 9 seconds to pull the plane. So the rest of the day we have vendors and.
Well, you should have them pull the plane farther.
We could, down the whole runway.
Down the whole
maybe.
runway. So,
Yeah.
And what kind of plane will it be this year? Or do you know yet?
Last year was a 757. I'd anticipate the same. FedEx generously donates the plane for us to pull, and so it's up to them. But I would guess that's what they'll do.
Here's the challenge:
the
have
bigger,
them
the
have
better.
a loaded plane.
Yes.
There you go. All packages.
Now here's
ready
the
to
challenge: have them get it off the ground.
go. Get your pilot.
That might be hard.
Little known fact: did you know there's actually a pilot in there because they got to break it at the end?
Yes,
Oh,
You didn't know that, did you?
did not know that.
Yeah.
there is.
Well, that's got to have somebody at the controls, even if the engine's not running.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you mentioned having it loaded. It also depends if there's gas in it, how
How much
heavy the
fuel.
gas
So-
is loaded up, and sometimes it's heavier than.
That would make the
Got
challenge.
to get it there.
Yep.
And then in our last 2 minutes here, we want to talk about the summer games because that's the big wrap up for the year, correct?
It is the largest competition that we have all year, and
Yeah.
it is really exciting time. It's down in Terre Haute at Indiana State University and Rose-Hulman, and we have around 2,600 athletes that will be participating in 8 different sports, and it's a great time for people to come down and volunteer for the games and spend a few hours experiencing the actual sport of Special Olympics. We talk a lot about the fundraisers, but
Right.
actually seeing what you're supporting. And the law enforcement officers come out and present medals, and it's really a great weekend. Friday night's opening ceremonies, and this year it's June 10th through the 12th.
And I know Trooper Teddy was there last year,
Yes.
along with Duke, the robot dog.
Yes, Duke, it was very, very popular amongst the athletes, all the spectators, and made his way around campus. So
Well, that's great. That's wonderful. And again, that's in Terre Haute. And what was the dates on that again?
June 10th through the 12th this year.
Great. Well, if you're crazy enough to do this polar plunge, more power to you. That's wonderful. I'm glad for you. That's and that is at Eagle Creek. Again, what was the date on that?
March 5th.
March the
at Eagle
5th.
Creek.
Well, it'll be warmed up by then.
Yeah,
It'll
it's
be a good time.
practically summer.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Well, again, thank you for listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I have Stephanie Manor from Indiana Special Olympics, Captain Dave Burson from the Public Information Office for the Indiana State Police. We've been talking about the Indiana Special Olympics program through Indiana and all the events that are upcoming this year that you can be involved in. And again, last 15 seconds, don't forget about the Tip of Cops that will be coming up involving law enforcement officers, Indiana State Police, and at your restaurants of Red Robin and Texas Roadhouse. So we want to get that out. Again, thank you for listening. Stephanie, thank you. David, thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate you being here.
Thanks,
Roadshow out.